Being a CEO of the fastest growing luxury clothing brand in the world has its perks, but it's not all easy.
Well, Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Yes, what the rock?
That must be one of the worst combinations I've ever tasted in 21 years of cooking.
Well, welcome back, folks.
Welcome back.
This is the Pitching It. Oh, this is the Fork in the Road podcast.
It's not me this time.
It wasn't him. It was me.
Did that record me while I was talking over the?
I don't know. We'll see in the.
That's
see
fine.
in post.
Well, that'll be good. We should do that more often. Yeah. So my girlfriend just texted me and she wanted to give me a call, and I said you should just come be on the podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we take live calls. Mm-hmm. We got to hook it up to the system.
Oh man, we've had a couple of live calls.
So we got a guest this episode.
We do.
Yep. You heard her. She's here. She's alive. We got Danielle Thralow.
She's in the building. We're in her building.
We're in her building.
We're all in the building.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us come over and record with you today.
Yeah. It's a beautiful spot. You get to see this beautiful scenery of Duluth, Minnesota from here.
Yeah. Yeah. Your house is stunning. Being here is just such a treat every single time. Yeah.
It's like being at the Barbie house.
It is, honestly.
When were you at the Barbie house?
Oh, well, I mean, those are personal things that I need to discuss on the podcast with our people. But
he keeps his Barbie life separate from his professional life.
Well, there is a Barbie house right now down at the deck.
Is there?
They got the Barbie car. They got the Barbie. You can get, there's all kinds of Barbie stuff at the deck until end of September.
Oh, no.
I haven't been down there. It'd be interesting.
Any Ken stuff?
How could you not? How could you have Barbie and not Ken?
Of
course, I guarantee there's
They do it.
Really?
It's been done. I don't think there's any. You
are
know,
the Barbie expert.
Well, I know in Minneapolis they opened up the Barbie restaurant in the Mall of America.
Really?
Yeah, there was a Barbie themed restaurant in the Mall of America for like, I don't know, maybe 6 months or something. It was one of those pop-ups that was like super expensive, and it was a theme thing. I don't think there was any Kens bringing out the food. I think it was all Barbies. Man. Yeah, Ken was in the kitchen.
Where he should be.
Where he should be.
Yeah. Keep those Kens in the kitchen with the Keiths.
With the Keiths?
Keiths. Yeah. Goddamn Keiths.
Yeah. Speaking of kitchen, have you made it out to the... You would just mention off air that you were at the State Fair and you visited the restaurant. Have you made it to the restaurant where I'm working there yet?
No.
Dang it.
No. You would know because I would ask.
We need to coordinate this.
Well, every time she goes there and asks for you, you're either there eating with your friends
or leaving because I'm in the hospital.
Or bleeding.
Yeah.
Eating or bleeding.
Yeah. I think we've mentioned that on the podcast before. It's such a...
Every time.
Yeah. Terrible.
It's great.
Yeah. Come to the cafe sometime.
I want... Jennifer loves the food there. I do too. So, yeah, we will. She liked the mushroom pasta.
The capellini.
Yeah.
I remember. This is useful information to maybe all but, one person in this room right now.
What capellini?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What's happening?
We're just talking about the menu.
I know.
Yeah.
Lost.
And what kind of mushrooms are in it?
We don't have that on the menu anymore, but it was
sneak some psilocybin.
There were shiitakes, there were oyster mushrooms, and then there were honsamegis.
5 grams of psilocybin.
Yes.
Yep.
That's what
I'm saying, dude. Sneak some of that in there one time.
That'd be a killer restaurant idea.
Hell
Just get fucked up. In this one, we have PCP. In this delicious
in this
food
dish.
Item. In this one, just different servings of
ecstasy.
Yeah. In this,
try our fentanyl funnel cakes.
That sounds delicious.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
Not off while you're eating your favorite treat.
I'll have to bring this to the owner's attention. Some good ideas we're having here.
You think Scott will go for it?
No.
Yeah.
He doesn't go for a lot of
He doesn't go for things that are illegal?
No.
Why not?
Unfortunately.
He doesn't want to get the restaurant shut down?
No.
What There's a sense of adventure.
I've been trying to level up my game a little bit.
We have a visitor?
We got the USPS.
Oh, okay.
We are in a fortress, y'all.
Yeah, for real.
This is a fortress.
I love the doorbell.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, I did not expect that. And then Jennifer's texting me, and because she got off work early, but she doesn't want to come be on the podcast. She's going to go
not?
home.
We have another mic.
Yeah, she's not gonna. Either we have to call her so that she can explain it, or
Right.
or
Yeah, we need an explanation on the podcast. We can easily that's got Bluetooth, right? Your watch or phone watch.
it might, but I don't know how to use it to broadcast to
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Next time.
Easily done.
Next time.
We can figure it out. So what were we talking about?
The cafe a little
yeah,
bit.
the
Yeah, we were
cafe.
talking about the cafe.
Yeah.
The warning motion detectors I have,
Yes.
cameras.
Yes, we have machine guns that come out in turrets at this facility.
I've had 3 people come down here. Plus, then there was that one threat.
Oh, really? I remember. Yes.
Actually, there's been 2 threats.
Yes, that was multiple years
What
ago.
happened? I don't remember this.
This was another comedian, or that was around, isn't anymore.
It was 2 years ago. It was 2022.
Yeah,
October.
He's probably
I still
dead.
remember.
He's probably dead now.
Wow.
He was going to take me out to a gravel pit and shoot me.
Yeah. He was a hick piece of shit. Let's just say that.
Well, let's not agitate
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah,
let's
maybe
He's not
move
gonna
on.
hear this.
That was like right around the time that I started, so I really don't
I
remember.
I was like 6 months into comedy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like so. Yeah.
And then I've just had people come running down the steps, and
Really?
I've had people inside the area
guest
over
house.
there.
or-
Yeah.
No way.
They just because
How?
they just let themselves in and they went to bed. Took a shower. They took a shower.
Get the fuck out of here.
They were naked.
Get the fuck out of here.
So my kids. So I didn't lock it because the kids were here. It had just snowed, and we went to a movie, and so we were gone to a movie for 2.5 hours, right? About maybe 3.
Yeah.
And we got back home, and Daisy went out there to the addition area, and she just screamed. And I thought, well, that was a weird scream. And then she came running back out, and she said, "There's a naked person in there, sleeping." They were sleeping. So it was like the 3 little bears.
No shit.
So I grabbed
Found the right size bed and the warm shower.
So I grabbed a makeshift weapon, called 911. The police came and got them out.
Wow.
But ever since then, I've got cameras out there, and I've added more cameras down here. Because then after that, I've had people come down the steps with baseball bats and things.
What?
Yeah.
For what fucking reason?
There's a lot of reasons.
I mean, your comedy's not that bad, Danny.
Wow.
The political environment in this country right now.
Yeah.
I know.
That seems
It's
people
sad.
feel justified.
I just don't understand how they know where you are. Like,
I'm pretty open about. I mean, I take pictures, post them on Facebook.
yeah, but I mean,
you can triangulate.
There's many houses on the hillside, and this is a very kind of a back alley road. Like,
I'm not sure how everybody figures it out, but they do.
That's crazy to me. But I mean, I got this address in my head now. I've been here so many times, but
yeah. Me too. I've been here twice today.
And that's it too. I've had a lot of people. I have people over. We have parties.
Yeah, but I mean, you usually only invite people that are. I mean,
usually. But sometimes there's a tag along.
Yeah.
People bring a +1.
That's how I wrote the joke. When I saw cocaine for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was a tag along.
Those people. Yeah. And not that people I know do use cocaine. They probably do. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they do.
It's not.
They use heroin.
Terrible.
Some of them. So
that's a bad drug.
Cocaine's not a big step. So you never know. I mean, I even had people sleep here that I've met that day.
Right. Yeah. I mean, shit. That's a bed to me right there. That couch.
I've slept on here.
That's a nice sofa.
Yeah.
Sleep on here.
How you liking your new tires?
How'd you know I got new tires? Did I tell you that?
No. No, you didn't.
Who told you?
My buddy did your tires.
Yeah. Wow. They're great.
Good.
I love them. They drove to Minneapolis and with them just a couple days ago, and I could tell the difference from what the old tires were.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they were super expensive, and I wouldn't have normally bought new tires.
Right.
But I had to because I hit a road hazard or something and knocked out one of them. And as you know,
And you have to do
replace
all four.
Why do you have to do all four?
Because it's all-wheel drive.
Yeah, but why? So what?
Because with all-wheel drive cars, so if it's a four-wheel drive, you still want to, but it's not necessary. But to have equal tread on all four tires, otherwise it's going to throw off like your all-wheel drive systems and stuff like that, and your speedometer is going to be off too. That's why rotating your tires is a must-do.
And
thing.
how often should you rotate your tires?
Usually every like 3,000-4,000 miles. Like if you get an oil change, get your tires rotated. Yeah.
3,000 or 4,000 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I do it probably once every 10,000 miles, and that's not often enough, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, you can get away with it. I go a little longer, but my tires end up wearing unevenly, so you shouldn't.
You have all-wheel drive?
I have four-wheel drive.
Yeah, so you can get away with it.
I can get away with it, so I can swap tires around and put them where I need them.
Does your car have wheels?
It didn't before. I now have a new car. I got a new car about 3 weeks ago.
And what kind is it?
It's a CRV.
Does it? So it has all-wheel drive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
all-time all-wheel drive.
You're in the
Same
replace
boat.
them all bucket too.
As of now, I won't need to for a while though.
Just think of how tire sales must have skyrocketed as all-wheel drive permeated.
Oh, I
Really,
know.
though, yeah.
I know.
Like
And all the
probably
Michelin star
more than
restaurants got more people coming to them.
So these are Continentals,
Okay, yeah.
and I don't know what I had before, but I can tell you that these were twice as expensive as the ones I had before. I got them at the same place.
Hopefully they
Duluth
last
Tire.
twice as long. Yeah, that's where I get all my used tires
Yeah.
for drifting and stuff
You'd
like that.
think they would, but if you hit potholes, apparently they don't.
That is true.
And
That
so I
is
broke
true.
a band
Oh yeah.
in one of the tires.
Yeah.
And apparently then it can separate. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was weird. So I was having this wobble, and I thought it was just my right front tire.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, just can you make sure that it's got plenty of air and that it's balanced? I want him to spin balance it to
Yep.
make sure that it wasn't out of whack.
Exactly.
And they did, and then I felt it on the other side. So then I come back and I go, you need to do all the tires.
Yeah.
I don't know why you didn't do all the tires in the first place, because you need to balance all the tires. And once they balanced all the tires, that's when they found the broken band.
Mm.
And that was that.
Yeah.
But I will say, driving the car now with the Continentals on it, I can tell the difference. Can you tell the difference between good tires and bad tires?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
He has so many tires at his house.
I don't.
My whole basement
He's
is
into
full
rubber.
of tires.
Yeah.
I love that rubber.
So
Stay safe, folks.
it's
them
interesting. I don't
rubbers.
know if we're doing this podcast is sponsored by Continental Tire.
It should be.
It should be. I need a sponsorship for my drifting. This is ridiculous, man.
So I don't know if in the realm of Volvos that the Continental is the best you can get, but it's noticeably better than what I had.
Right. And I know they only carry certain brands there because
Uh-huh.
like certain places only carry certain brands. So they probably fitted the best for that vehicle, I'm guessing.
It was the only thing
mean,
they could get overnight.
Okay.
And I needed to drive to Minneapolis the next day.
Yeah.
And so it was either that or rent a car.
Yeah. You don't want to do that.
No.
Not when you got a fancy Volvo.
Yeah.
It's 6 years old now.
Oh no, it's 6 years
Yes.
old. Oh no, it's a 2018.
This is the longest I've owned a vehicle in a long time.
Seriously?
Yeah, the new Volvos aren't that much different unless you get an electric vehicle. And I'm waiting to get the electric vehicle because they
Why?
have new battery technology that's coming out in the next few years. I'm guessing the range will go from 400 to 500 miles or some are 300 miles, right? Some of the
Right.
ranges.
Yeah.
Per charge?
Yeah,
per
per
charge,
charge,
to
okay.
well over 1,000.
Wow.
Well, we'll see about that.
What do you mean? You don't believe
We'll
that?
see.
An
dude.
avid hater of electric cars.
I don't
You have
hate
to
on
admit
them.
that they
I
already
just-
go 500 miles, right? They already go 500 miles on a charge, or even 300. You have to
Right,
admit they
but
go
then how
300.
long do you gotta wait for that charge?
Depends if you're doing a fast charger or a slow
Exactly.
charger.
Can you get access to a fast charger?
Well,
or
I
are
mean,
you gonna, like,
you can put one in your garage.
You can, but the bill goes way up.
Yeah, for sure. And then you could put solar panels on. I mean, that's what
True,
my
but then-
sister in Madison.
That's
They
what.
have solar panels on their roof.
Yep, that's
they-
what my uncle does. He lives down in the cities. He's got 3 Teslas now.
Oh my gosh.
He's got fucking solar panels all over his house and
So,
shit.
are you a Rivian fan or not?
I've never driven one, so I can't tell you. I mean, if somebody wants to hire me to test cars, I'm all about it. Like, I can tell you good from bad from whatever. Like,
I like the look of the Rivian.
It's not terrible, but it's not great. All
right, so what is your favorite appearance-wise truck? Just appearance-wise, like four-wheel drive, SUV, or pickup, or anything that's not.
It's gonna be older.
Sedan.
It's gonna be like an '80s, like late '80s Toyota truck.
Late '80s Toyota.
Like a Hilux.
Really? What do you like about the look of that?
Well,
I'm not talking about performance. I'm talking about aesthetics.
I know. Aesthetically, they're very like. They got a somewhat short wheelbase. They're pretty skinny in between, like with wheelbase too, so you can pretty much go anywhere with them. But like I like the way that they fit me as a person. They fit anything I need to do.
Okay, good enough. You
know.
So it's somewhat of a practical thing too.
I mean, it's beautiful to me. I mean, if you want to think about it, if you don't know what they look like, it's from Back to the Future.
Okay.
That the Toyota truck that's sitting in his driveway and shit that is like Marty McFly.
So if you were gonna drive a car or a truck every day and price or no object, what would you pick to just drive every day?
If reliability and all that shit wasn't a fucking problem.
You're driving. How far do you drive to work? 10 miles?
30 miles.
30 miles. So you're driving to work every day, 30 miles. You do have to go through snow. You do live in Duluth.
I know. Well, then it would change from summer to winter because you get a winter vehicle.
So you'd have two vehicles?
Vehicle.
Okay. So what's your summer vehicle?
Summer vehicle would be a Mark IV Supra for sure.
I don't know what that is. Do you know what that
is? It's right there.
It's right on his arm.
Oh my God.
It's the only reason that I know.
So what is the attributes of that vehicle that you
it's a
love so much you put it on your arm? You even put a woman's name on
I
your
didn't
arm.
even put a woman's tits on my arm.
So I think so he's secretly having sex with that.
Dude. Hey, man. Porn can be anything.
There is a My Strange Addiction episode from TLC of a dude just making out with his like car's muffler in a parking lot.
He should have fucked the gas holes when he should have done.
I'm pretty sure he did.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
for
shocked.
him or the car.
Gasoline on your genitals sounds.
Gasoline on the skin period burns.
Right. That's my point. Maybe some people are into that burning sensation.
Yeah, man.
It's kind of like choking you out, but
exactly. It's like a BDSM action by yourself. You know.
Okay. Wouldn't that be a great Tinder profile? I'm into gasoline on my dick.
I'm into pouring gas on my genitals.
There's my phone. Hand me that. I'm gonna stop that thing from ringing. No, that banana.
The banana. Yeah, that crazy looking phone.
Wow.
Wow.
All right.
This is a great recording studio, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got the mailman coming with the doorbell.
We just got guests. Yeah, we should have had him come in, but he wants to get home tonight, Adam. Apparently. He's got a lot more shit to do, dude.
Well,
they are overworked and underpaid, I'll tell you that.
How much do you care about cars?
Adam Lowry. Really not a whole lot.
As much as I care about the fancy food.
Yeah.
What are you into? What are you into? Like he's into cars.
Food. Yeah, food.
Really? So you really are a foodie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been getting really, really into.
So what kind of car is that?
Toyota Supra.
A Supra. So if you were sitting in his Supra, what would you eat?
What would I eat?
Ooh.
Yeah. What would be the right food?
What would you be eating in my $200,000 car?
Does it have leather seats?
They can. I'd probably have racing seats in it.
What does that mean?
They're bucket seats.
Buckets, but made out of leather or what?
No,
vinyl. Fabric.
Yeah, some sort of.
Something you can. So I think it should be something sticky.
Yeah, like a jelly-filled donut.
Just cotton candy, but I lick it once,
perfect,
and then I spit it out.
Perfect,
dude. Where it gets all like
that
gelatiny.
That is absolutely what you should eat in his Toyota Supra. Absolutely, cotton candy.
We'll see if he can eat the whole cotton candy.
100-degree day where it's just dripping.
Yeah. What I really should do is I should line it the whole
with
car
cotton
with
candy,
cotton, and then just pour water all over it. I think that's good.
Yeah, you got to do that on wrap it with like a velvet.
Yeah.
And then do that so it sticks to the velvet.
Where have you had your best meal?
where have I had my best meal?
Or a great meal. Other than the place you work, which has great meals.
I forgot where it was called, but it was there's this really good Korean barbecue spot that I went to before a concert in Minneapolis. But otherwise, I feel like if I eat something really fancy, it's usually something that I would make for myself.
At home or at the restaurant?
Just at home. Yeah.
What's the last fancy thing you made?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. Yeah, I made a really fancy cheesecake.
What kind?
Raspberry.
Raspberry swirl. And I made raspberry caviar and I put it on top.
What did you do with that cake after you made it? Did you just eat it?
He gave me a piece.
Gave him a piece. I shared it with all of my roommates. I ate 2 pieces and then I brought the rest to the cafe for everybody to try. While we were breaking down and closing that night. I think it was a good...
Did Scott try it?
He did not. And I was hoping that he would, but I'm going to keep trying to make it a bunch more and level up as much as I can.
Raspberry caviar, tell me more about that.
It was good.
So I made a compote out of raspberries just with some powdered sugar and frozen raspberries, and I wrapped it in a metal bowl with plastic wrap. And then I kind of double boiled it so that all of that liquid seeped out of the raspberries, and I collected that. And then I put some gelatin in it, some vegan gelatin, and I dropped it, mixed it together and put it in a little dropper. And then I dropped it into really cold oil. And the oil and the gelatin, they don't mix together, so it just holds that amorphous ball shape and sinks to the bottom and cools down, and then the gelatin will set.
And then you pour off the oil?
Yep. And then I collect
How big were they caviar-sized balls?
Yeah, they were. It was like the little pieces of, the little seed pieces of a raspberry.
But
it was
without seeds.
Yeah, it was just those little balls.
The goal
And concentrated.
Yeah, really, really concentrated.
How did you learn that?
Just
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Huh. You should have YouTube.
There's a vegan chef in the UK that I've been taking a lot of inspiration from because he runs.
I did not know you are vegan. So you are
He's
vegan?
not.
My mom is. So I get really into that kind of stuff just to try and find stuff that I can bring. Over holidays, I'll make stuff that they can try. Cheesecake obviously is not vegan, so I'll have to figure something out. Sometimes she'll break her own rules and try stuff just because I made it. But yeah, that was
like a good tenderloin.
Yeah, I actually made steak bordelaise, which is just like a fancy way of saying steak and potatoes. I made that for Christmas a couple of years ago.
And she ate it?
She tried everything but the steak. So she tried all the different things that I had with it.
I had steak tartare again for the first time in years.
Tartar?
A couple days ago. Yeah. It
Nice.
was okay.
Have you ever had tartar?
Does it look like I've ever had tartar?
Yes, actually. But just you didn't know the name of it.
No,
it's like Roadkill.
I've felt tar on the roads.
You picked up a dead rabbit
Yeah,
and just ate it.
There was what is that? It's a lillipine tartare.
Yeah.
I've had a rat stuck in tar before.
Is that how you say rabbit in French? I don't even know.
I think it's roulade. I don't know.
Maybe lillipine, maybe it's a frog. Frog tartare.
Yeah.
Tartare means raw.
Okay, I've had sushi.
We were talking about ceviche a couple episodes ago. That's been something that's been piquing my interest more and more.
I've never had a ceviche I like, but I love sushi. But ceviche,
really,
it's all kind of tastes the same, which is sort of tasteless.
Yeah, I like sushi. I don't.
Or it just has the taste of whatever spices are in it.
Sure. Well, that's the thing is ceviche is such a global dish. I feel like a lot of different cultures have their own spin on ceviche. You can have Japanese ceviche with
I would try your ceviche.
Yeah, I generally will lead more towards a Peruvian.
I don't have any
ceviche.
objection to it. If I'm going to eat something, I eat something that's got a little more savoriness to it.
Sure.
I mean, not many people are willing to try his ceviche, but Danny's down.
We've got one. Yeah.
I'm sure you do it safely.
Safe enough, Yeah. Shit. Indeed.
So where's the fanciest place you've ever eaten?
I've had some pretty fancy
meals.
I can only imagine.
I've been to the French Laundry.
Oh, really? Keller. Yeah.
When it was at its heyday.
Wow.
And
when was its heyday?
Oh, probably 1999.
Okay.
2001.
Wow.
You had to get in. You had to.
Is that in France?
Work really hard. I mean,
no.
For someone from Minnesota who didn't know people, you'd have to get up and make a phone call at 6 a.m. as soon as they opened because it would just fill up like that.
Yeah.
And they would only, they'd book out 6 months
Yeah,
in
6
advance.
months,
And everyone would be full. They'd all be full. I've eaten at a 3-star Michelin in France and Paris.
Wow.
Oh wow.
It was good. And it's not just the food.
It's the experience.
The people are, so if you're sitting there with a table of maybe 5 or 6 people, they send out 5 or 6 or 8 servers, and each one's carrying a plate, and then they come. It's choreo. It's like a dance.
It's just exquisite.
They come in,
service.
they all set it down, the plate in front of you at the same time, so nobody's getting served before anybody else. Everybody's served simultaneously. They've got another backup person or two with like extra particular utensils or toppings or whatever it is that has to be done at the table, so that nobody is switching tasks. Everybody is dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you're paying for that too, which is kind of interesting. And then the food is great.
Yeah, part of it really can be like the difference between 2 stars and 3 stars.
Yes.
Is just your
just the
water,
way they put the plate down.
Your water being filled the entire time that you're
Yes.
eating, or the placement of your forks on the table. It's insane how particular the standards are.
Mr.
at all
Michelin
of these
is.
places.
It's fucking
It's
insane.
crazy for a guy who just owns tires.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude. What the fuck? This is where we meet. Like me
It's
with
where
the
the
tires
rubber
and
meets
you,
the road.
Exactly, dude.
Is that a Michelin restaurant?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Or over here.
I would love
right
to,
here is where the rubber meets the road.
I would love to go to a Michelin star restaurant
But is it
sometime.
worth the fucking bill? Like,
It depends if you're an experienced person or a material person. There's more of a trend these days to pay for experiences.
Yeah.
I know that. But then every experience is relative, right? So
exactly.
So I would say the meal, when we did it back then, it was expensive, but I'm sure it's much more expensive today. If I had to guess today, it's probably $1,000 a person, maybe. It wouldn't be outrageous.
Yeah.
So if you were going to take a date,
That's outrageous.
if you were going to take
me.
a date out and spend $2,000, what would you do?
I could do a lot of things.
What?
$2,000 on a date?
and
Let's drive across the fucking country and go see it.
Go see what?
The country.
Okay, so
the whole fucking country.
So
You
you'd
could
get in what kind of
across it.
vehicle would you get into?
Well,
the
fuck,
vehicle
I could-
you have right now, because $2,000 isn't going to buy you a new
Yeah,
vehicle.
no. If I was gonna drive across the country in any vehicle today, it'd probably be my Toyota truck.
Yeah.
It'll go anywhere.
So you've
won't
got a
let me
date,
down.
and you're going to go. You're saying let's go out for the next few days. We're going to drive across the country. What would take?
Next week,
Yeah, it would take 3 days at least to go one way. How fast would you do it?
I'd take my time.
So
If I had $2,000,
yeah. So
if I had $2,000, I'd make it last.
for
But
2
I'd have a
weeks?
good time.
3 weeks.
Couple weeks, probably.
Couple
You
weeks?
could make it last a couple weeks at least for a couple grand.
Where would you sleep?
In the truck.
Okay.
Romantic.
What the fuck are you?
Very romantic
You know what?
date.
I'm not judging that part because I have no doubt he'd find a woman that'd be willing to do it.
That's true.
Because there are adventuresome people out there.
Hey, dude,
yeah.
my cousin has a girl. He lives in a fucking van, bro. Like,
Yeah,
he comes
totally.
from a wealthy
That's-
family, but he lives in he has a Mercedes van, and he fucking lives out
What was
in the West Coast. but
Gabby
yeah.
and that guy from Florida where he killed her in the canyon.
What?
Oh, the people who are vlogging? Is that
Yeah.
Oh.
They were driving, and they would argue at rest stops and things, and people would see him
Nice.
arguing, and then eventually just choked her out.
Yeah,
Cool.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And
Oh, is that the guy that went on the run for a
So-
while? And, like-
Yeah, I
yeah.
think-
And then he ended up in the middle of a
A-
Everglades kind of
A
place.
swamp or
Cool.
something like that, yeah.
And so where am I going with this is that you could find a date too.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I'm
could,
saying,
yeah.
to drive across
he
the
did.
country.
That
Yes,
guy did.
Yes.
I mean, shit.
Yes.
No,
Because
I
you
mean-
probably aren't going to kill them.
No.
I do think it's a funny way of saying that, like a date, like this is the first proposition to like even hang out with somebody. It's like, you want to, instead of going to a nice restaurant, you want to hitchhike, go across the country
You
with me.
think I'm gonna go spend $2,000 on an hour and a half meal?
Well, it's more
Fuck.
like 3 hours.
Yeah, but still, like 3 hours versus 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like, I mean, like that's just not
So,
even.
okay, but I need to separate out the time factor. So you're saying you need the money to last over a period of time.
Well, I mean, you could. That's just making it last. That's just like actually taking in the time that you're doing it.
There's an
whereas,
attribute. I mean, that's a very positive thing, is that you're savoring it.
Well, that's the thing. Whereas, like, if you go to the 3-hour thing, yeah, it happens for 3 hours. You can savor it during that 3 hours, but then after that 3 hours, how much are you going to actually remember the taste of that food in your mouth?
Probably depends if you take notes, but yeah.
Notes, but you're not going to taste. You're not going to taste that in your mouth 10 years later.
But you're going to taste your trip?
No, but you're going to remember your whole trip 10 years later.
Yeah, okay. That's, you can...
You're going to build memories.
You can do that.
Over that, then... I mean, logically with money, because I don't have any, that's how I would do it. Like, rather than one meal versus, like, a lifetime of memory.
I will say, I think there are some more... like really high-end Michelin star restaurants that are becoming more accessible for people
I was
who
thinking
don't
3-star. Yeah,
Sure,
I was thinking 3-star, and I think at a 3-star level, there's a point where it just isn't going to be cheap.
Yeah, of course.
But 1-star for sure,
Yeah,
and
1-star
1-star is amazing.
And there's I forget what it's called. It's a noodle bar. I think
it's
it might
still
just
a
be called
Michelin
Noodle
star.
Bar. It's in New York, I believe.
I think there's a 1-star Michelin in Minneapolis.
Really? I don't think the state of Minnesota actually pays for Michelin stars to be here.
I thought
the state has to pay for a Michelin.
Really?
That's wow.
Yeah.
All right, this is just getting more.
The state pays for the Michelin business and like the people who do those
That's
stars to come to their state. It's like a tourism thing.
Think that is a mistake on the Michelin people. Because,
No, it totally is.
Because they can't. I mean, once you think you're being bought, now your stars don't have as much value.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize
it's not like a. The thing is,
that's
like
sort of pay to play.
It is. It's like all the video games nowadays, man.
A lot of people have said that they think that if Minnesota did Michelin stars, that our restaurant would have one. I think it maybe would have in the past. I don't think where we're at right now. I think that we just have too many new people there. And that's not to say that it's like not a great place to go. I think it's a fantastic place. And it's like it's in the same kind of boat as like that one Michelin star. Like it's pretty accessible. It's not like super, super cheap, but it's also not like $1,000 a person.
Right.
It's more like, $75 to $100 per person.
Depending upon how much you drink and what you drink.
Yeah. And I think for what it is, I think it's a great place, especially there's not really anything else like it in this area.
Oh, for sure.
At all.
That's accurate.
Yeah. So
I mean, we could talk about like Vaubenny or Lake Avenue Cafe. I mean, yeah, Lake Avenue or even Chester Creek.
Yeah. I've been to Lake Ave.
Yeah.
I was not super impressed.
It's more uneven than the New Scenic. Yeah.
What do you mean by like uneven?
Well, like you can have something
layout?
that's spectacular. And then the next time you go, you might have something that's a little too rich.
Just like inconsistent.
Yeah. And and I'm biased also because I prefer food that's less rich. And the Lake Avenue definitely has a richer, their food is going to have more butter and more pig fat and, things like bone marrow.
Sure.
And that stuff it gets a little rich for me. And what I like about the New Scenic is that there's more options that aren't that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is an interesting thing to like see, and especially I think I haven't been to Lake Ave in almost 2 years now.
So I mean, so if you love bacon fat,
Yeah.
you might like the Lake Avenue Cafe more than the New Scenic.
Yeah. And I don't know what their menu's like now, or how often they switch their menu around either. But that's something that it's like a constant thing at the cafe too. So I think you can come, 6 months apart from each other, and you can have a totally different experience.
For sure. And sometimes that's frustrating. But
sure.
I love it. I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But you go in wanting to get your favorite food, and then it's not there anymore.
Sure. Yeah.
When we went to the state fair. I actually was looking forward to the sashimi tacos, which they didn't do.
Yeah.
But the lobster roll was. I would not have tried the lobster roll. I totally would have got the sashimi tacos and stopped. And so it forced me to eat something that I wouldn't normally eat, and it was spectacular.
Yeah, I think and that really
spectacular.
is that is Scott's like whole goal with the restaurant is to have people come up here as tourists or even as locals and try something that they wouldn't have normally tried, and expand their because up here there's just so many like Scandinavian people who think that yogurt is spicy. So
well, Mary Mac's best joke is
oh yeah, she does have that joke.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Chives are the habanero of the north.
I loved that joke.
Yeah. She is great.
Fantastic.
She's so funny.
That was such a treat having her on the Barrel Room show.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And Tim.
Tim.
And Tim, yeah, of
Tim's
course.
hilarious.
Tim is hilarious.
Don't ever forget Tim.
I haven't. I
Don't
haven't
you
CD
fucking
in my
ever
car.
forget
There
Tim.
is there's better than a 50-50 chance they'll be at the Jade tonight.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, fuck. I wasn't planning on going.
But you are now.
Am I? I got a busy ass week, bro. I leave day after tomorrow.
To where?
Brainerd.
Oh, that's right. You're going to be dragging.
Drifting.
Or something. Drifting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be dragging
They mean the
ass.
same thing to me too.
Be dragging ass. Son.
You're going to be scuffling.
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Be skirting that shit. Fucking.
So what vehicle will you be driving when you're drifting?
I just bought a 1995 Mustang.
Wow, it's your own.
Yeah.
So do you pay an entry fee?
Yep.
And can you win things?
You can. Yep.
How many people will be in it?
There's up to 80 cars can register, but depending on who's competing, that depends. This is my first event, so we'll see if I make it into competition or not.
Oh, because you have qualifying?
Yeah, there's qualifying and everything.
What makes a good drifter besides a hobo pack?
Seat time. Seat time.
What does that mean?
Just time in the seat.
Yeah, but
driving.
how can you go, oh, that guy's good and that guy's not as good? How do you differentiate between?
You can see it in the driving. Like,
so describe a good drifter versus a
a
bad
good drifter, depending if you're in the lead or chase position. Lead is obviously in front, chasing. You're following that guy's line, trying to stay as close to him as you can. A good lead will bring it wide. They'll throw it as wide as they can, like as close to the barriers or wall or whatever, because that's using as much of the course as you can.
Why do you want to do that?
Because it shows your skill. It shows you can get close to the wall without
hitting it.
Well, the best thing to do is hit it, but without just tapping it. It's called a wall tap. And I mean, you come as close to that where you could like scrape it with your bumper, rip your bumper off, but it won't move like the angle that your vehicle is at. So it won't change your trajectory.
Is the winner judged like in gymnastics?
Yeah.
So it has nothing to do with speed.
Here and there. So that's where like once you get.
It doesn't have to do with crossing the finish line first.
No, it's about how well. So there'll be 2 runs in each for a battle. They call it a battle between the 2 people. For each battle, there's 2 runs. So one person will lead first, and the other guy will chase, and then they'll swap positions, and the other guy will lead, and he'll chase.
Up in the stands or in the booth, there'll be judges.
They'll be watching and seeing who leads and chases better, and between the 2. So like if the lead makes a few mistakes, but the chase is like right on, but then the next guy makes mistakes in the lead and the chase is off, like the dude that chased first and led second will win.
So this is your first time.
Yeah.
This is the first time you'll be judged.
Yeah.
And they're going to judge you in the qualifying round.
Yeah.
And how have you been practicing?
Drift simulator. Yeah, like a simulator. Like I have a whole pedal.
Do you drive your actual vehicle?
I've been driving as close to the vehicle that I have that they have available. So I've been driving like a V8 240, but it's a little bit different on like size wise, but I'm running a V8 engine, which is what I have in the Mustang.
Okay, so what the Brainerd track, is it an oval?
No, it's actually so
it takes a lot of different turns.
So they run it differently. This event Friday you get on the road course at Brainerd.
Okay, so in the simulator, does it have Brainerd?
I think you can get it.
So you have not been simulating Brainerd, and you have not been simulated. You've been getting as close to the vehicle and as close to the track as you can. Is it going to be dirt or asphalt?
Asphalt.
And what tires are you using?
Multiple different kinds.
Wow.
To try out different things to see what works better.
How many tires will you go through in an event?
That I will find out.
Okay.
Like I said before, his whole basement is just filled with
tires.
He has like 20 different tires.
It was almost 30.
Yeah.
Almost 30 tires.
When I go to his house to record, I get a huge waft of rubber
Of
right
course.
as I walk in.
I can almost smell it when he walks in here.
Yeah.
So how fast do you go when you're drifting?
It depends on the size of the course. Yeah. So like Friday, at this event I'm going to Friday, the drifters get the big track, which is like an actual race course track. It's Brainerd's over 2 mile track. And there's only a certain amount of corners that are live for it. So you can't drift the back half, but you can drift like the front half. But those ones, they're bigger and they're longer corners. So you have to be going faster. So I'm guessing I'm going to be in like third gear for that. So I'm guessing like 45, 50 to like 60 miles an hour, like drift entry.
What tires are you going to start with?
I think 16-inch.
How wide?
Probably 225. Yeah, 225 by 50, I believe. And then I got a few sets of those in 16s, and then I got a set.
Are you excited?
Oh, I'm super pumped. I'm nervous as fuck though.
Yeah,
like,
I would. Yeah,
because the thing about Brainerd.
Well, what's the worst that can happen?
I could wreck my car.
Yeah, so
I could ruin
That's
it.
the whole point.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not the whole point.
But people wreck their cars all the time.
Yeah, I know. It's part of the game.
Yeah.
It's part of the game. If I wreck, I wreck. You know, that's part of it.
And you don't have any insurance because you can't insure a vehicle like that.
No, I don't have insurance on it.
No, you can't. Nobody can.
You can. There's race insurance.
Oh my gosh, that must be expensive.
I'm sure, depending on the vehicle.
So if you do wreck the vehicle, you're out of vehicle.
I'm out of a play vehicle.
You'll have to
I literally
fix
just
it,
bought it just for this.
But you know how to fix it.
Yeah, I built it.
Yeah, so
it was a piece of shit when I bought it.
So the odds that you roll it and total it,
I'm not gonna roll it. It's too low.
You just might hit the wall.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So you probably won't have a fatal. I don't mean fatal death for you, but a fatal. You probably won't have a fatal accident for the car.
Right.
If the car might be out of commission for this weekend, but you'll be able to bring it back.
I'll be able to resurrect it for sure. I mean,
the fact that you're worried about it, so is that your biggest worry, an accident?
No.
No, what's your biggest worry?
My biggest worry is just like not doing as good as I think I'll do. Because like I've been practicing a lot, and the only thing is I'm not familiar with my particular vehicle yet. So I mean, I'm going to use Friday as just getting used to my car. But the thing is with that event, Friday is the big track, but then Saturday and Sunday you're on the skid pad, which is...
I have no idea what that is.
I know, it's so...
a whole different language to me.
Yeah,
the skid pad.
The skid pad.
That sounds like my underwear.
Yeah, for real. Nice. I might use that. Fucking... No, but like, so I don't. Have you ever been to Brainerd International Raceway?
I've driven past it.
You've driven past it.
I've seen it from afar.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So like, you've seen the like entrance gates.
Yeah.
You know. Well, just past those entrance gates, there's a bridge.
It would be a bad. First appearance if you hit that entrance gate.
yeah. For real.
Trying to make an epic drifting entry.
Okay, so do you have a sensei? Do you have a drifting coach?
I have friends that drift a lot.
Okay.
Like
sensei.
I wish. Dude.
I've called my sous chef.
That's what I was going to say before. I was going to ask you that. So I wanted to shift the conversation back to you on the food part. I mean, so you're as into that as he's into drifting.
Yeah.
And so his big event, what would make you anxious? Because he's nervous.
I've cooked for a Michelin star chef before.
Oh.
That was pretty nerve-wracking.
At the New Scenic?
Yeah, his name was Paul Kahan.
Huh. What was he doing there?
He was just on vacation with his wife.
Was he happy?
Oh, he said that it was spectacular service. It was in the
Do you think he was telling the truth or just telling you what he wants you to hear?
I do think that he actually had a great time.
Mm-hmm. What did he choose? What did he eat?
Oh, man, this was a couple...
You got to remember these dishes.
Yeah, this was I remember he got a...
Because they're going to ask you at a Michelin star.
We had a braised lamb dish with...
Did he have a Syrah with it?
A polenta cake. There was esquites, which was just like a corn with some
Was he on a date? Did he have his wife?
It was his wife,
Yeah.
and they were just up on vacation. He's from Chicago. He has a restaurant there. He had a restaurant there with a Michelin star called Blackbird.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, and that place shut down. And he's been doing stuff in Chicago, other spots that he has open. One fun tidbit is actually that they reference his show in the or his restaurant in the Bear. The show.
Yeah.
I think he's like one of the credits for the not the main character, but Sydney, one of the other main characters, who's the sous chef in that show. She mentions
act.
like
God, she's a terrible actor.
I haven't watched the newest season yet, but
dude, that show is full of bad actors.
Well, what I've heard is that it gets better.
the show gets better.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
In the newer season,
I feel
We're
like
talking
it's-
about the Bear.
Yeah, the Bear.
yeah.
I feel like it's getting worse.
It's got a lot of critical acclaim.
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah.
I've watched the
never
first
heard anything
two
bad
seasons.
about it.
Yeah,
but now
I feel like it's getting worse.
we've got
though.
John, the
He's
television
just a
drifter critic.
avid hater
Yes.
on everything.
Dude, I'm a critic.
What is your
dude.
favorite TV show?
TV show?
Yeah, or show,
Gear.
streaming show.
Top Gear's fire.
Oh my
Gear.
gosh. Okay, we're done.
He talks about
You've
Top
never
Gear all the
seen? Have you
time.
ever watched the
No.
old school Top Gear with
No.
like Jeremy Clarkson?
Oh my
I think
gosh.
you would like
I
it.
opened up a casket.
I think you would like it. It's fucking awesome.
All right. I'll remember that. I still can't even finish the. What's the current game of House of the Dragon?
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't-
we're still not done with that.
No, I'm
dude.
not done with that either. So don't tell me anything.
Well, I
No
can't even
spoilers.
remember.
No
We're gonna have
spoilers.
to start it over. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were anxious for the 1-star chef
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just
because you knew going in.
No, I didn't actually. It was
No, he cooked the food and then
I
found
was,
out.
Well,
that
then
was
you can't be anxious.
No, but it was definitely like so the way that it happened was it was in the winter, so we weren't like super busy, and that was one reason why I think we were able to give him like exceptional service. It's just because when we're not super busy, I feel like that's the time to come.
Yeah. I actually love going to tourist towns in the off season.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. Go to Florida in the summer.
Yeah.
Go up to Duluth, North Shore, anywhere in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what sucks. Why?
What?
Nobody wants to go to Florida in the summer.
I liked it. I
Really?
liked
Is it hot
I
as
would rather.
fuck, though?
I would rather go in the summer than during season because, well, the only reason I don't is because I love Duluth in the summer. There's really
Right.
no better place
That's
in the
what
summer
I'm
than
saying,
Duluth.
like-
So I would not go to Florida in the summer when I've got Duluth because Duluth is heaven.
Yeah.
But if I was that's why I didn't want to go to. I don't hardly even go to Florida anymore because
I need to take a trip down to Florida.
Yeah. So, so I lived in Florida for 10 years, and in season, you can't even park at the grocery
Oh
store.
fuck! I would lose my mind.
Yeah, you can't. If you want to eat at a restaurant, you have to make reservations a week in advance at least, sometimes longer. And then when you get to the restaurant, you can't park, and it's
So where
traffic.
do-
You can sit through it. You could sit like. I'm talking about specifically about Naples.
Yeah.
And there's a particular stoplight on Pine Ridge Road where in February at high season, you can sit through that stoplight 4 fucking times.
Oh yeah, you can swear whatever you want on this
4
podcast.
times. Imagine watching that thing turn as you're
I would
moving slow.
lose
Yes.
my
Yes.
mind.
So this
That's
is
why I'd
not
be
a
on a
tourist commercial for
motorcycle.
Naples, Florida.
That's why I'd
in the winter.
Oof.
In the summer, Naples is amazing because
Yeah.
it's just locals. You go to the top upscale restaurants and they give they treat you like you're a local, and that is spectacular. I love it. So I recommend people go to Naples, Florida in the summer.
Yeah, I want to check that place out for once in my life.
Well, that was, and not to like dwell on the topic we were on before too much, but that was one of the like things that was very special to me. Was like I was almost cooking for that guy like he was a local.
Yeah.
And then I found out after his meal was done and after they'd paid and left,
Yeah.
their server
So
came up
you-
to me and was like, "Hey, that was Paul Kahan." Like
You
a Michelin star
cannot
chef.
tell me you were anxious because of that because you didn't even know.
I didn't know. Yeah.
So
what's your
You're
most
kinda
anxious
lying.
you've ever
Yeah.
I
been?
suppose, but it was still a very special moment. I suppose.
a special moment is great.
Yeah.
But so what do you? So what is? Do you have like?
So we got to cut all that now.
No. Why?
No, I'm just because he lied.
That's
no, I'm
perfect.
just kidding. I'm
People
just
need to
kidding.
know
Yeah.
what they're dealing
Yeah.
with when they're dealing with Adam
Adam
Lowry.
Lowry. He doesn't know what he's dealing with.
So he's having his peak weekend of drifting for the first time, and he's excited and nervous. Describe your upcoming weekend that you would envision that would create that level of excitement and nerves. What would you? And it doesn't have to be about food.
Sure. I mean, I get really anxious about, any comedy show that I'm on.
That's,
of course.
That's huge for me.
And that's something I wanted to ask you about, because you travel all over the place for comedy. And I guess like, one of the main questions I wanted to ask was, I've seen a lot of your stuff, and it's very grounded in like Midwest culture, I think. Some of it, not all of it, of course. But I wonder how that translates to other places that you go. Like if you were to go to Naples, Florida, do a set down there.
I totally adapt it.
Do you? Okay.
I mean, like, there's some jokes that don't transfer. I wish they would, because I love them. Like the Packers joke.
Sure.
Yeah.
That Packers joke can only be Wisconsin or Minnesota.
Or Illinois.
Really?
Illinois is on the border of
Chicago
Wisconsin.
for sure.
Yeah,
Chicago would work in Chicago, or probably Detroit.
Yep.
But the current joke that I'm doing about bears versus men in the woods, that started off as a Florida joke.
Oh, really?
Because
I remember
it used to be alligators and lightning.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. It was
so
lightning
I changed
rods.
it into bears and men
Yep.
in Minnesota.
Okay.
I remember.
It used to be alligators and men, and alligators and lightning, or men and lightning.
Yeah, the lightning rods on the beach,
Yeah.
and then
They literally have these lightning detectors.
and
And that was written because they spend $500,000 on these lightning detectors in Florida, and
none on the men.
no. and Florida and lightning kills 17 people in Florida every year, so it's good that they protect the people like that. But what kills more people than lightning? It's men. They kill 1,000 people in Florida, but there's no detectors.
Yeah.
That's such a great joke.
It is. I remember when I first heard that joke, when I first started comedy. I remember Dani was the first person to come up and like walk up to me in the Dublin's room.
The Dublins.
Yeah. My first night of doing comedy.
So they don't all transfer, but just about everything can be transferred in some way. And I mean, that's my goal. My goal is to have comedy that'll work just about anywhere, including Mississippi or Arkansas, or someplace super
deep
red.
south.
Super red, or super northern Minnesota. That can be just as red.
I know.
What is the biggest venue that you've done before?
Probably about 400 people in Seattle.
Okay.
That was full.
Nice.
Was that the festival?
Yeah, that was the competition.
Okay.
The Seattle International Comedy Competition.
How'd you do there?
Horrible. Like shit. I was 13 out of 16.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were good. That's all.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned that I have to up my game. I mean, I see it, and I don't think it was my joke writing. I think it was my stage presentation more than anything. The people. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's that simple that I could use another attribute to my stage presence.
Yeah.
Because they would grade you, and that's so that maybe wouldn't translate quite the same into Netflix things, because Nate Bargatze isn't outrageous on stage, although he does have an excellent expression and gestures, but he's top of the world right now.
Yeah,
so
and he's family friendly too.
And he's clean. So I don't think you need to have all the tools in the bucket to be a great comedian, but to win a competition, it sure helps, because they're going off a grading list of 10 different categories. And there's crowd response, but then there's also just stage presence and
star power, whatever,
and charisma.
And there's a different combination of each of those things that works for every single person. I think that some people like Sam Bonus, for example, he's very over the top on stage and very physical and
act out.
That works great for him,
right.
But I don't think I could go up on stage and do that same thing
with
my monotone
you'd have
voice.
To practice it,
and you'd have to change a lot of things.
Because I used to be much more lower energy on stage when I first started, and then I would watch my videos and I would see how low energy I was. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be low energy, like Mish Hedberg or Stephen Wright.
Or down in the cities, he's really down and depressed sounding.
Oh, Comrade.
Yes, Comrade Trip.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember his name.
So, and so that I have to lean into that more, or I could just try showing more energy on stage. And that's kind of the direction I've gone, is trying to thread that needle of not changing my personality, but just focusing on having more energy and more upbeat when I get out there. And it, particularly at this club level or open mic level or small comedy club level, I think it's important. But I think that, I mean, as you groom your own fan base, then you can be more of whatever you want to be in that sense of, but then you, so, you know, I think I've written many times, write for the crowd you want, which is what Mary Mack told me, is write for the crowd you want. So you have to keep in mind that as you're performing, you're cultivating a crowd base that's going to expect that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So, I mean, you just need to find low energy crowds if that's what you want.
I suppose.
Yeah. People who want that. Well, yeah. And I'll tell you, with low energy though, the writing and the word economy is critical in my opinion.
Yeah. And that's something that I think I put most of my focus on with comedy, is just the writing. Like I'll spend maybe like 2 or 3 weeks on like a 2-minute bit before I even try it once. And I think sometimes that can be like a double-edged sword where, you know, I'm not proud of this, you know, piece or this whole, you know, project yet. So I just like, I'm hiding it from everybody, but I could get so much more out of like just taking it to an open mic, seeing what people are reacting to, what they aren't reacting to. And like that immediate feedback is so useful in the writing process.
Yes.
It's not just writing, it's also testing and all of that. And that's something that I kind of just have to like get over my head about. Like something can be hilarious to me, or like, you know, a great idea, and I think it's great, and then I take it somewhere and it just bombs and it's terrible.
But you gotta try it at least 3 times in different places, have different kinds of crowds, see what actually works.
Well, I think that I don't think you need different types of crowds, but I do think you need a crowd. But I don't think you need a different type of crowd, because I think it should do well no matter the crowd. But you do need a crowd. Yeah. And and the crowd can't be just comics.
Yeah.
So like so I mean, if it's a funny joke, it should work in front of 10 or 15 or 20 people. It'd be nice to have 20, but I mean, the more the better. But at least 10 people, I would think, but you never know. I mean, sometimes you can get a good feedback with 5 people. I think it's numbers. And I mean, if you've got a room of 20 people and you tell the joke and it works, and then you go to another room of 20 people and you tell the joke and it doesn't work, I think that's a red flag. I don't think it's just the crowd.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge that though, because I mean, if you got 20 people laughing one night and then nobody the next night, and then I don't know,
then I would say odds are greater. It's just not a good joke. Is my impression.
It also, like you had said, it like also depends on how many of those people are like comics or not.
None of them should be.
Yeah.
You cannot. If you have a room of 20 comics, it doesn't count.
Yeah, because I've seen people go up at like Dublin so many times, and they do something that gets a comic response, and then they keep doing it, and they think
it's fun. It's fun to get the comics to laugh sometimes.
Yeah, and I think it just really depends. Like I've seen people even go up and try to get the comics to laugh when
I'll guarantee you, I've seen it. I mean, I have jokes. I've done many jokes where the comics will laugh, and I'll think, I'm going to try that joke, and I'll go take it to a regular crowd, and it's often too dark or too graphic. The comics really like stuff that, because
it goes over the top.
They're so jaded that they've got this shell on. In order to get through that shell, you have to give them mass death and sex.
Just shock factor.
Yeah.
Catch them off guard somehow.
Or I mean, they'll also laugh for very clever writing, but who's going to do that?
Yeah, I feel like you can get that comic response just by doing some like stupid incest joke over.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah, like Roddy that one night.
Yeah.
Incest, and in particular incest that mentions the name of another comic that's already at the club. Like Incense with Buttermilk. Incest with Buttermilk. That sounds like a great podcast title.
Incest
Welcome
with Buttermilk.
to Incest with Buttermilk. We'll be right back after this commercial message.
If he ever gets on, that's what we'll name it. Well, one other thing that happened this week.
What else?
Your boy became a Cannabis Cup
Oh,
fucking judge.
Judge, yeah.
Yeah.
You told me that
Congrats.
the other day. It's a
Yeah.
big major leap in his career.
Yeah, dude. It's huge. So I brought a smorgasbord of goodies, and a connoisseur picked out 2 different kinds, and we got to figure out which one we're gonna smoke.
Oh,
Dani went and picked 2 different kinds.
Banaconda and Snapple
Yeah.
are the 2. What are you?
Well, we're gonna smoke one of them.
Are we?
I choose this one.
The Snapple.
All right.
Some 39.5%.
The testing on the Banaconda is a little varied. It says a 10% margin of error. They didn't put the 10% margin of error on this one. I'm assuming there probably is, but since they didn't say it, I'm going to give them credit that their testing is more precise.
Seems so.
Seems legit.
Wow.
I mean, we got to give, since we're trying this, we got to give a review for the Cannabis Cup.
We do.
You know, because I'm going to turn in this review.
Are we? Okay.
You know, since this is a legitimate platform.
They're going to have to listen through the whole first hour.
No, I'll just send it. Yeah, I'll just send them the podcast.
Just the raw files, the stems. Yeah.
Oh, no. We need a knife.
I have a knife.
Yep. They put the open here right above where they sealed it, so
That's
it's
annoying.
still sealed.
Well,
That's
luckily
cute.
we get an excuse to check out
They
Dani's
just don't want you to-
shun cutlery knives.
Yeah, they just didn't want you to get this hot, bro.
But for cutting something
Oh,
like this,
yeah.
I think this is more perfect.
Some skizzers, dude.
Sure.
Some skizzers. We'll hold it right here. So, what are you doing this weekend, Adam?
This weekend?
Yeah, man.
As in, like, well, today's Tuesday, so it's not the weekend.
Well, I mean, I got a 2-day work week this week, so.
What?
I mean, tomorrow's my Friday.
Damn, bro. I had a busy week planned. Just working.
Oh, yeah, just working in the office?
Going at 4 tomorrow. I'll be getting home around midnight or so, and then I got to go back at 10 the next day. Doing the good old cloping.
Closed to open?
Closing and then having
Open,
opening the next day, yeah.
You gotta love that.
Those should be fucking illegal, but they're not.
They really should be. Like, whoever invented that can really get railed in their digit. Their rear digit.
Their rear digit?
Yeah. It's a number 0.
I've never heard that before.
All right.
Also,
We got
have to have a hard stop in like 15 minutes. So
Heard.
Yeah.
Timer, if that's okay.
We'll be
that's totally
we'll
fine.
be running out here pretty quick, I think.
What do you got going on? Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yes,
I should
yeah.
go out. I haven't been to comedy.
I know, me
So
too.
We've actually been getting a crowd.
have we
Yeah.
at Jade in
Yeah.
particular?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
it's a following. There's some cool kids. I would call them kids because I'm old.
Well, I saw your photos on Facebook
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
nights ago. There were
Yeah.
some new people that I had never met.
And we're getting it. Now watch tonight will be dead, but
Yeah,
it's been consistent. I don't
yeah.
know. So
I just need to get the practice. I have a show coming up in October.
were you able to open
Wow,
that?
dude. Yeah, I got it.
I can smell it over
That
here.
is very
Look at that.
pungent.
Yeah, let's do what we need to do.
What do we need to do?
I don't know what we need to do.
This is your
Looks
idea.
It looks beautiful, dude.
Do you need a bong? What do you
I
want?
was gonna have you guys look at it, see what you think.
Oh, okay. Well, let me get my glasses.
Oh yeah, Dani's got to get her glasses.
You're cheaters.
You're cheaters.
So Adam,
So Jonathan,
I need you to show up for me this weekend.
at Brainerd.
What are you gonna smoke it in?
Huh?
What are you gonna smoke it in?
I gotta chill him. That my friend,
It's just a little pipe.
yeah, that my friend made. Before she moved out to.
It's been well over a year
Hawaii.
since I've smoked marijuana.
Really?
Yeah, so this will be interesting.
I remember smoking your last grow.
Yeah,
This-
you still got one out there, don't
This
you?
is so,
I can see
a
a
plant.
couple. Yeah, I can see a few.
It's legal now, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I grow it and I don't smoke it, but I will. I mean, I will make it. I will cook with it.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I'll cook with it.
Do you make like canna butter?
No, I know people are into
I don't know
that.
if
But
that
this is
helps.
so
Oh,
dense.
yeah.
Look at how dense and crystallized that is. That's crazy.
That is.
It looks like it
Look at
came
that
from
part
another
right there.
planet.
That is.
This looks like it came off an asteroid.
Ooh.
Yeah, this dropped from space. Aliens brought this.
Aliens did bring this.
That's how they can get that look and density.
Just a new life form.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet if we put this in the window or something, it'll just walk away on its own.
It could. It'll start crawling away.
That is.
It is its own
wild.
entity.
It is so potent that thing could get you pregnant just by looking at you.
That's wild.
I think I'm pregnant. How do you know if you're pregnant?
How do you know?
If you've smoked Zapple.
Some Snapple.
I want to forget being in the Cannabis Cup. I want to be one of the people who gets to name new strains.
Dude, that's what I said. Oh,
that's a great bit.
Yeah.
No, for real. Because when I was at the dispensary, like we were looking at different strains, and some of them were literally. You've both seen the movie. What is it? Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen that.
I have
Dani?
seen that movie.
Have you?
Strangely enough, I have.
Okay, cool.
It's a bit of an underground.
That's
movie.
with Robert Downey Jr., right? No? Okay, I haven't seen it then.
It's with Seth Rogen and
James Franco.
James Franco.
You know what? I still feel like I've seen it.
It's about weed.
It's just a weed movie.
Yeah,
I have not
it's
seen
about
it.
weed.
Never mind. I have not seen it. I have it confused with a completely different movie.
Well, James Franco is a weed dealer to Seth Rogen, and Seth Rogen witnesses a fucking murder happen or whatever, and goes over to James Franco's to get weed and freaks out or whatever. But one of the strains that he has that he sells to like his shittiest customers is called the Snickle Fritz. And when we were there,
All
they
right, keep
literally had it was made by a grower called Gas Station, and the strain was Snickle Fritz. So they had on sale Gas Station Snickle Fritz, and I was like, "Get the fuck out of here, dude!" And I was like, you got any of that?" He pulled out the tray, and it was empty. I was like, "Dude, people are buying Gas Station Snickle Fritz."
What are you doing?
So this right here is called a Medtainer. So it's got a grinder built into it, and then a storage container.
And why are you even grinding it?
Well, because it breaks it down.
Why is that good?
It breaks it down so you can like pack
Just a more
Can't you
better.
just pack it in there?
Yeah, but it doesn't.
It burns more evenly when it's all broken
You'll get like
up.
a lot of those stems if you don't, and
Yeah, but
whatnot.
those burn too.
Yeah, but they ruin the flavor of the bud.
Do they?
They do.
And so
They
you
do.
smoke
Have
it
you
for
ever-
flavor?
Well, you like a good flavor. No, you like a good flavor.
I mean, if you like flavor, I got a guy here who can make you some cheesecake.
That's true.
Oh, I tried it.
With raspberry caviar.
I tried it, Dani.
And you're worried about a few stems. Okay.
I do think it's going back to the whole naming of the
You know,
weed
they
thing,
also have a caviar of weed too.
Do they?
Do they?
Yeah. It's called caviar. It's very, very expensive, but it's like keef and fucking like terps and shit and all sorts of stuff.
I just think it's hilarious that you can go to a dispensary, show somebody your ID, and you have to show them your ID before you go in, and then somebody just approaches you with an iPad and it's like, "On sale, we have cock and ball torture. Here you go."
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
Well, and that's what I was trying to get to is like, well, we were talking to this guy, and I saw the Snickle Fritz was there. I was like, "This is crazy."
Go.
You try here. You're gonna spark it. So
I've never seen somebody command somebody to smoke weed before.
Smoke that fucking weed now. So yeah, you just light the end with the weed in it and pull through the opposite.
Oh, so you smoke out
Yep.
of the
Yeah. It's like a oney but bigger. No.
And is this a good side up?
It doesn't matter which side up. That's just a pretty little ball she put on there.
It seems like it has some sort of value. Okay.
It's a gemstone.
Yeah, it has value to the person that made it. No, I think you'll be fine, Dani.
There you go.
You got it.
Woohoo.
So, it might be. We'll see. It is some very strong stuff.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
May need a ride to the Jade tonight, huh?
I may need the Uber to the Jade.
Yeah. After a year, yeah, that and you have weed as strong as what John just brought in. Like we said,
Well, she chose it.
A whole new alien life form. Oh, boy.
Dani's getting water. Well, I mean, she had like over 30 flavors to choose from, and she chose the strongest one. You got that lighter?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Here, hit that.
I will say, it tasted fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It has kind of a citrusy, almost, I don't know, blueberry?
Citrusy, almost blueberry.
It's definitely got a berry flavor.
Got some berry in
Yeah,
it.
it does. Here.
Well, what was the name of this one? Snapple.
Snapple.
Yep.
Is it perhaps an apple flavor?
It definitely might be.
Is that what it's called?
Snapple, yeah.
Snapple.
That's the
Or maybe
strain.
it does have an apple flavor. I mean, now that you say it, and there's an apple freaking on the cover.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that solves it.
Suppose
Look,
it must be it.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's totally apple flavor.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
They grew it with an
I've
apple
never,
tree.
You know, because I smoke it, and I'm not saying I'm pure. I will definitely eat it. So it's not like I'm not had experience with
Right.
THC, but the taste of that is way better than I've ever remembered smoking weed, and because I don't smoke it very often, and it's
Right.
been a while, and so the last time I smoked it was probably just something crazy that isn't so
Yeah.
gourmet.
Right.
But that was smooth, even though I coughed. But it was
Right.
smooth. It tasted good. Okay, you win. You win. It makes a difference. I'm glad you didn't put any twigs in there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I would just smoke the twigs, eat the twigs.
Well, the stems make it a lot more harsh. Like
yeah, and you know what?
and you can
that's me.
taste.
Yep.
If you can taste a stem. Like
I
if
have
you've
never been
ever-
a connoisseur, and now you've ruined me.
I've ruined you.
Yeah, now I will be.
Oh,
now I
no.
will be very. Now I'll be just that. I'll be that Karen at the weed. It's like, are there stems in here? It tastes
No
like there's
sticks,
stems.
no steeds for me. Like,
I can taste the shake in this, you bastards.
Yeah.
did you ever hear about like the old thing? Like if you smoke a seed, you like won't be able to reproduce.
No, I do remember hearing
lowers
that if
your-
you ate like a fruit seed,
I
it would
read
grow
that in the
you.
New England Journal of Medicine.
Huh?
Really?
Was it?
If
That
you
it
smoke a
lowers.
seed, that's it. You're impotent.
Well, like it
Wow.
lowers your sperm count or something like that.
I don't know. I made that up.
I don't know.
I just,
See, like
I
that's
didn't want to lead into
there
that
was
too
like all
hard.
these old
Because-
all these
You
old
had me
wives'
convinced.
tales of weed
Yeah, of
growing
course,
up. You
yeah.
know,
What else? Yeah.
have you heard any wives' tales of weed growing up?
I mean, yeah.
Like what?
Well, I mean, the
What?
classic like Dare program commercials.
kills your brain cells.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Makes a gray matter.
Gray matter.
Or produce in your brain.
Dude, gray matter?
Yeah.
What about dark matter? Can you turn that gray matter into dark matter?
Well, then your head would collapse.
Right, yeah. Your head-
Which, maybe that's what is happening.
Yeah. I do remember like people in high school showing us photos of people like a brain scan like of somebody who is a regular smoker and somebody who's never smoked weed before, and there is like a gray mass in their brain.
Yeah, but is that photoshopped?
Or is it a different condition that they just found on a person?
Right.
You know, maybe they just
You're talking about the effect of marijuana?
yeah.
Well, that is not the case. So there's no research that demonstrates that smoking marijuana is going to change the color of your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't change that shit. But if you watch it under a brain scan of like under psilocybin, you can see it make connections.
You're talking about the tinted colors, the enhanced
Yeah,
colors.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. For sure, it's going to affect which synapses fire.
For sure. That's what all the
That's-
like LSD
that's
and
the goal.
all that. Yeah, exactly.
Although they say with mushrooms that it doesn't give you new thoughts. It opens up your brain to the possibility of creating new thoughts. It kind of loosens up your synapses so that you're not so stuck in your ways.
Well,
Right.
an actual memory, it literally is like a physical pathway that your neurons make. So when you take like a drug that like is, I guess it's like able to give you a different pathway to a different
Well,
thought.
people get so ossified, especially as they get older, and you see it. I mean, you see it in cults, right? Any cult, whether it's Trump voters or whatever. I mean, so,
or Christians or whatever.
yeah, whatever call. I mean, or car guys.
Yeah. Hey man,
You get people in these cults.
some cult culture.
Yeah, and then they aren't open to new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And so a way to open up a brain to a new idea, or to just be willing to consider a novel concept,
Just to open
would
synapses.
would be to crack those synapses a little.
Mm.
That's why I want to try LSD.
Not great for you.
I had half a hit of LSD.
What,
in
from Sam?
1988. And it's still affecting me today. No, I'm kidding. I had half a hit and I did not like it.
Yeah.
I did not like it. That's why it was been so long since I've tried it.
What about that? Did you ever do that one that Sammy Boy gave you?
Not yet. I'm
You still
scared of
have
LSD.
that?
Yeah, you want it? I should give it back.
I might.
I'm scared of it too. I did it a decent.
See, I only want to
amount
do
of times.
it around people I'm comfortable
Yeah,
with.
you know, that'd
need
be
to find
I need somebody
a
who
certain
to hold
spot.
my hand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, I'm afraid I'm going to jump out a window or
Yeah.
something. That's another wives' tale, right?
Yeah, or like, plucking your eyes out of your head
Yeah,
or
or
something like that.
losing
Or
your
turning
shit.
into an orange tree is the very classic one that I remember.
Turning into an orange
Yeah,
tree?
there's a story that I remember hearing a lot about a guy who picked up a whole sheet of acid, which is 100 little tabs in a
yeah.
big sheet of
That'd
paper.
be a lot.
And he got pulled over because he was speeding, and he put it under his shirt,
And it
he
soaked to
started
his skin,
sweating,
yeah.
and it like soaked into his skin, and he started like going crazy while the cop was, talking to him at the window, and to this day, the whole wives' tale part is like, to this day, he's in a psych ward, and he just sits in a corner and thinks that he's an orange tree, and like stands like with his arms as branches.
Well, because I've heard that it does build up in your spinal fluid. I think
something
it's an
like that.
acid.
I wouldn't know.
I think because my buddy, he took acid for a while. Like, he was like dangerously consistent on it for a while.
Yeah, I never understand
And
how people.
I didn't
can
understand
find
that
themselves in
either, dude. Because I've still never done it. But he stopped doing it. He's like, he had to stop doing it, and he cracked his back like 3 years later, and he started tripping.
Yeah, that seems like that's crazy. Too much acid.
You should try licking him.
Yeah, just like, hey, you are acid now.
His pupils are infinitely dilated. Yeah.
No, he's doing good for himself.
Wouldn't that be funny if you had a friend that you could just lick and hallucinate?
That'd be crazy.
I mean, that's what they did.
Mr. Toad.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say that's how they found out about DMT with toads.
DMT would be fun, I think. I would like to do that. That would change your whole perspective on life.
If I changed my middle name to Margaret, I would be DMT.
Yes, you would. Yes, you would.
My timer is going off.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, we're over.
We'll have to save the DMT for the next episode.
Yeah,
with
next
Dani.
time with Dani. It's been a fun one, dude.
This has been a great episode. I've
Yeah.
had
All
a lot
right,
of fun.
good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks for being
absolutely.
on.
Have a good night and pleasant tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you're not coming out tonight. It's going to take me forever to get ready.
All right, folks.
All right.
Well,
Well,
thanks for listening, folks.
yeah, and that's been our guest, Dani.
I've been Adam Lowry.
And I've been John Schinkel.
Goodbye. Love you.
Bye.
Being a CEO of the fastest growing luxury clothing brand in the world has its perks, but it's not all easy.
Rider, rider, rider. Rider, rider, rider,
Well,
rider.
Dick, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Yes, man. What the rock?
That must be one of the worst combinations I've ever tasted in 21 years of cooking.